Welcome, friends, to another AndyForge video. This is my custom deck opening video. You'll notice a change in the playmat here as I'm showing off the Geistoid playmat that I got from the Game Found. If you haven't watched that video yet, go check out my merch haul. Went live just last Saturday. You'll see this mat and a variety of other things and some pretty close-up detail. But today we're diving into these three decks. I wanted to talk a little bit about it before we dove in, and I showed you the playmats and the personalized posters that came with each of the decks. Those I'll probably show off at the end. The houses that I chose, you'll notice, are Geistoid and Untamed for every deck. I loved what we saw from the previews and the spoilers and everything, so I got very excited about those two houses. Untamed being one of my favorite houses, Geistoid being thematically probably my new favorite house. So I figured I would want each of those in every deck. Mars seemed to have some really good things in tandem with capturing and other effects that worked well with Geistoid and Untamed. Whereas Unfathomable I wanted just because it's control. I think maybe I should have worked Brobnar in here somewhere, maybe instead of Equidon, but I'm pretty happy with my choices. Equidon also seemed very interesting. I loved where they were in the last set in Winds of Exchange, and they are, if you get the right cards, very powerful in this set too. A lot of stealing in Equidon specifically. So I'm super excited to dive in. These are all of the decks in front of you. I won't read off the names because you're about to see them in full detail. Super up close Archons in the new decks. And yeah, I guess that's it. Give me 1 second. We'll transition into the first deck here. Oh, also, this will probably be the order that I'm doing them in. So my Geistoid Untamed Unfathomable, Geistoid Untamed Equidon, then Geistoid Untamed Mars. So be ready. I'm super excited. Here we are with the first mat. This looks fantastic. I actually really love this, especially compared to the first Game Found. I've always been a huge fan of asymmetrical designs, especially in like gaming mats or card game mats. I feel like it brings a kind of dynamic level to a lot of designs, especially in something like this. So it is super appealing. I like that the house symbols have their own respective art next to them, and I'm hoping that it is a different art each time, maybe a different rare card or something, because it would be very awesome if we could see multiple different Geistoid and Untamed creatures. But even then, if it is the same, that looks fantastic. This is our purple Archon. The Archon itself looks very cool. I'm curious what designs were added to the Archon algorithm for Geistoid. I always felt like there was a sort of maybe theming between the houses that would find their way into a design. Like I could, infer that the tendrils are from Unfathomable, or maybe these bony wings are from Untamed, but that could also just be finding meaning or reason where there is none. But if that is the case, I'm super interested to see what it was. I would assume maybe these legs were part of Geistoid, but this is just super awesome. The Archon looks amazing. The art, and I'm hoping that this purple kind of lightning effect that spreads out, and the fact that this is a dark shade of purple is a part of the fact that the Archon was chosen to be purple. So we will see more of that with the next decks. The name of this deck upcoming is AndyForge the Implicitly Rapturous. I love that name. I think it is so cool. I think it's so interesting thematically that it came with the Unfathomable, a house in KeyForge that is known for worship and for the occult. So the kind of implicitly rapturous. I just think that's super cool. The names of these cards are, by the way, because I think I can remember them all, for those interested, this is the Witch Queen. This is actually this is an upgrade card called Thought Swim that protects a creature based off of a haunted condition. I forget who. I think if the opponent is haunted, then one of your creatures just can't be destroyed or dealt damage. And then we have Mischievous, I think, a Geistoid creature that I haven't seen in a deck yet, but seems very interesting, and I love the art. I also love that it extends outside of the border in places, not in like an overtaking way, but in a way that, again, adds to the kind of dynamics. They did a fantastic job with these mats, and I am very happy with my choices of like having the house art. I can't imagine it would still look amazing without the houses and their individual art, but this is just, it is such a huge improvement from the last time, and last time wasn't even bad. So I'm very excited to see what my next couple mats are, but I hope you guys like it. If you have some of your own, talk about it in the comments, see what you got, talk about what house art that you guys got in and on your playmats. But I will be right back with AndyForge, the Implicitly Rapturous. Okay, we're here now with the card reveal. So since Grim Reminders is new, and we do not have our SAS scores yet or anything like that, I won't be doing a deck breakdown. I also don't feel that I've played enough with Grim Reminders to give proper insight, even on a makeshift deck breakdown like I've done with Woe at the beginning of my deck openings for that. I will probably still do that once we get to the Grim Reminders deck opening phase of all of the Grim Reminders content. But for my custom deck video, we will just talk about the cards as they pop up and do the card reveal for them, and then we'll just move on. So each deck starts with one of the custom kind of hex QR codes. We'll set that off the screen there. Then this should be our Archon card. Set that to the side. And then this should be our rules card. So now we don't have tide or token, so it is just a quick reference for rules, and they'll add new stuff, like they've put Haunted in here as the sets come out, which is good. It's good to have another card like that in deck, and there's also a lot of freedom that you can do with cards like that. Okay, let us dig in. Starting in our Untamed, we have Warfaline, a 3-power creature that says play after fight, shuffle the top 5 cards of your discard pile into their owner's deck. Warfaline is very, very cool. Being able to pull yourself out of Haunted when you need to dodge some sort of untamed, unfathomable effect can be very good. It also combos very specifically with Sabira the Enlightened? Enchanted? I'll remember the names eventually. The New Witch, the card's on the screen for you. But because if you have like 4 or 5 cards in your discard pile and you shuffle all of them, so there are no more cards in your discard pile, that counts as your entire discard pile being shuffled into your deck. So you can gain 3 amber from a fight with this creature, or just playing it. 2 of those. Then we have Lost in the Wild, a new kind of Lost card. So there was like Lost in the Wood, and then there was one other one that I will show on the screen. So now we have Lost in the Wild. It is got an Amber Pip enhanced with a Discard Pip, one of those new pips, very cool. And it reads, it's an action that reads, play, shuffle each flank creature into its owner's deck. If you are haunted, repeat the preceding effect. So that could be a shuffle 4 creatures from the board into decks, and you can kind of position it so that it best helps you, especially if we get Grave Pixies. Another Lost in the Wild enhanced with the same Discard Pip. Very interesting. Then we've got Invigorating Shower. I love this card. It is an action enhanced with a Capture Pip, and it enhances a draw and a discard into the deck. It reads, play, choose a house, shuffle each card of that house from your discard pile into your deck. This can be very, very good. I've done this a few times in games with one of my later named decks that I've actually been able to play a little bit with, like the Geistoid house, after I've used all of its kind of enhancements and ability to kind of push the board state, and then I shuffled it back in so that I can kind of reset and dig straight back to Haunted status once I flip my discard pile. Then we've got the Blernian Hydra, 5-power creature that enhances 3 damage into the deck, and it reads, while it is damaged, Blernian Hydra gains Splash Attack X, where X is the amount of damage on Blernian Hydra. Very, very cool. Splash Attack is very good. This seems to be a kind of one-hit creature. If you can get it to interplay ready somehow, I'm sure it would be fantastic. Ooh, and then we got Werewolf's Curse. It is an upgrade with an Amber Pip on it. This creature gains Splash Attack 3, and after fight Archive Werewolf Curse, play Enrage this creature. So whatever creature it touches gets enraged. Yep, and that is a special card that always comes with this untamed creature, Gnarl Gibbous. 3-power creature with, while enraged, Gnarl Gibbous gains Skirmish and Splash Attack 3. Play, after Reap, Enrage Gnarl Gibbous. I actually was able to lock down a board pretty good with Gnarl Gibbous. They didn't have any direct removal, and so being able to, especially if you get Werewolf's Curse, have a Skirmish Splash Attack 6 creature is pretty awesome. Ooh, then we have Halakor, 4-power creature, enhanced with a discard pip. Each friendly flank creature gains skirmish. This is very good for Blarnean Hydra and Warfaline. Interesting. Already some combos shining through. Ooh, then we got Ghost Tree. It's enhanced with a draw pip. It's a 10-power creature that says while you are haunted, Ghost Tree deals no damage when fighting. So if you are not haunted, it deals 10 damage. And then Scrap, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Very good. So you discard it and then the top 5. That can get you to haunted pretty easy. Then Cauldron. It's an artifact that reads Omni. Put the top card of your deck face up under Cauldron. If there are 3 cards under Cauldron, play them one at a time as if they were in your hand. So you get to pick the order from Cauldron when you play them back, which is really good. It's also very interesting. Cauldron can either give you a huge payoff where you get to play 3 out-of-house cards right when you need them, or it can lock away one of your good cards for like 3 turns while you wait, or play them at the wrong time. You know, the order isn't great, but I think the efficiency and the things that it provides is very, very interesting. Oh, and then we got Forgotten Guardian, 5-power creature with play, purge a card from a discard pile, or scrap, shuffle a purged card into its owner's deck. This is one of the, I think, 2 cards in Grim Reminders that pulls cards out of the purged pile. It is Forgotten Guardian and then Poltergeistoids, I think, are the only 2 this set that can do that. And this is a card that deeply interested me, so I'm excited. I hope we get some way to utilize it. This deck and the next deck I haven't actually looked at too much. Oh, and then here we go. We've got a Tentaclid, 3-power creature with Skirmish, Taunt, and it cannot reap. This always comes with Omnipus, for those that haven't seen it. Omnipus is a large creature that discards from the top of the deck and then can do things based off of how many, or I think it just brings all of the Tentaclids from the discard pile into my hand on that turn. Very, very good for this set. We'll see how many Tentaclids we got. It's 1, 2, ooh, enhanced with a discard pip. That's really good. That's 2, 3, enhanced with a damage pip. Okay, you love to see these guys enhanced. Ah, okay, just 3. Then we've got the 3-power creature Wicolia. After reap, keys cost +2 during your opponent's next turn. Some good amber control there. It's got a lot of flavor text. I don't know that I've read that before. A solitary creature that can roam the depths for weeks without encountering another living thing. Wow, okay. One of those deep sea creatures. Memno Leech? Or, yeah, Nemo Leech? I don't know how you say that, actually. We'll say Memno Leech, because I like the way that sounds. It's a 2-power creature with After Reap. If your opponent is haunted, steal 2 amber, otherwise steal 1. Pretty good steal effect. Hoping for multiple of those, but looks like we did not. We got Koriki Germinator, 5-power creature enhanced with a discard pip. Play after reap, put a card from a player's discard pile on the bottom of their deck. Not bad. You can get rid of a pesky card in our opponent's discard pile if we know that they have good recursion, or we can recur something later that we want to play. Something like Spooky Charge would be good. Ooh, Call of the Void. I actually really like this card in this set. It's an action with an amber pip. Play, exhaust a creature. If it was already exhausted, destroy it instead, and its controller loses 1 amber. There's actually a decent number of ways to exhaust creatures in this set. That was one thing that I think Winds of Exchange suffered from, is there wasn't a whole lot of exhaustion in Unfathomable, even though there was a good number of control cards in like Befuddle and stuff like that, but there's a good number of exhaustion, so there's great ways to take care of this. Hopefully we get some of those cards. Oh, Beam of Forgetting is good. It's an action with an amber pip and enhances a capture and a discard into the deck, and it says play, reveal a random card from your opponent's hand, put that card on the bottom of their deck. Some very effective removal, especially in Grim Reminders. Ooh, Nightmare Inducer. I think this is some exhaustion that we would have been looking for. An artifact with an amber. Action, choose a card in your opponent's discard pile. Exhaust each enemy creature that shares a house with that card. Put that card on the bottom of your opponent's deck. Very good. Kelping Hands, not bad. An artifact with an amber pip enhanced with a capture. Reads Omni, destroy Kelping Hands. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains poison. That can be really good with how much skirmish we have in Unfathomable. Then we've got, not Unfathomable, Untamed. Then we've got the action card Dredge. It has an Amber Pip. Play. For the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains, after Reap, return a card from your discard pile to the top of your deck. Ooh, some very interesting recursion. Omnipus was enhanced with 2 capture. That's so cool. Okay, so Omnipus, 8 power creature, enhanced with 2 capture. Omnipus cannot fight. Play. Discard the top 8 cards of your deck. Play each Tentaclid from your discard pile. So not even one of the cards discarded, but as long as it is in your discard pile, play it. And we've got 2 enhanced ones, so that'll be really good. And then it says, after Reap, gain 1 amber for each friendly Tentaclid. Not bad. So this Reap effect would be 4 amber if we had all of our Tentaclids, because 1 from the Reap, and then we had 3 Tentaclids. And then we are out of Unfathomable. That was a really good Unfathomable house, I feel. I don't know how strong that house will be in this set, or honestly outside of like Geistoid, Untamed, and Mars, because I think those are going to be pretty big bangers this set. I'm not sure what houses are going to rise to the top. They all feel really good. Star Alliance might settle somewhere a little bit lower, but even then, if you can establish a good Star Alliance board state with some of these creatures, it can pop off. I think Grim Reminders has a very, very good chance of being one of the new best sets. We're here now in Geistoid. We've got a 6 power creature, Albia Stray. If you are haunted, Albia Stray enters play ready. After Reap, capture 1. So some good instant capture. And it looks like, if I'm not wrong, Albia Stray is being chased by some Sanctum creatures. I hadn't noticed that before, but it looks like the Sanctum Knights are kind of looking for this Geistoid, and it's hiding amongst a bunch of other motorcycles. Very, very interesting. But also, if you don't need capture and you need creature removal, a 6 power creature entering play ready is nothing to scoff at. You know, if Belligerent Guard has taught us anything, even though that's at 8 power. Then we've got Webster here, 8 power creature, enhanced with a damage. It's got Taunt, and after fight, for each damage on Webster, you may discard the top card of each player's deck. It entering with a damage might be really good if we can get it to kind of damage itself and then get an early start on that. Then we've got Touchstone here, 4 power creature with After Reap. If you're haunted, draw 2 cards. Otherwise, discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Very good. I like that Reap effect. Oh, then we've got Reaver, double enhanced here. It is a 4 power creature enhanced with a damage and a discard. It enhances a capture and 2 discard into the deck. And it reads, after Reap, move 1 amber from a friendly creature to your pool. If you do, discard a card. So discarding a card, I assume that would be from your hand. That can be really good with Albia Stray. If Reaver's already in play, put Albia Stray in, discard, maybe that gets us to Haunted. Oh no, the discard would have already happened because it's already in play. But if Albia Stray enters ready, it captures and then we immediately can move it, as well as get some additional utility. Oh, Junk Restoration. I absolutely love this card. It's an action with an amber, enhances to discard into the deck. We've got a lot of discard pips in this deck. It reads, play, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put a card discarded this way into your hand. In here somewhere, probably my new favorite Geistoid card, or just new favorite card. I love the art, and I love the way that its effect resolves. It's just super, super good at utility. In here somewhere is an action with an Amber Pip. Play, if you are haunted, archive 2 cards from your discard pile. Otherwise, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. So either get super good utility and archive 2 very important cards from your discard pile for a later turn, or get yourself haunted immediately and hopefully gain additional effects for that. Oh, Dark Lamp. This is good with Albia Stray and Reaver. 4 power creature. Each friendly creature with amber on it gains elusive and play capture 1. Then we've got the artifact Plow Sword here. Action, put a creature in a discard pile on the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, deal 3 damage to a creature. Some good creature removal and a little bit of, it could be recursion if we really need a creature on the bottom of our deck, and then we could draw up to it with Touchstone, or it could be some disruption if we know that they're going to try and recur or save a creature. We can put it on the bottom of the deck. Phantasmal Visit, it's an action with an Amber Pip. Play, stun and exhaust a creature. If you are haunted, archive Phantasmal Visit. Pretty good. Cursed Tomb, it's got an Amber Pip on it and enhances 2 capture and a discard into the deck. Each creature with no amber on it gains destroyed, purge this creature. If there are no creatures in play, purge Cursed Tomb. So sometimes this might be worth playing just for that amber pip if it purges itself, but also it seems like a lot of my Geistoid creatures can capture, or at least move amber around in some way. If we could get something like a Hallowed Eve Festival, that would be very, very good, and it might be worth playing Cursed Tomb at that point, but I don't know. I've heard mixed feelings about this card. It seems like it can kind of stink up certain decks, but at the very least, it is either just you play it or you don't, and that's not too complicated, especially since we have discard in this set. Oh, goodness. Okay. So we've got the rare Island of Misfit Toys. Absolutely love this card. It is an artifact with action. Return each Geistoid card from your discard pile to your hand. Purge Island of Misfit Toys. So it's action, so you have to do it on a Geistoid turn, but you're going to get all of your Geistoid cards back. And that means that we could theoretically play a big Geistoid turn, then action this, and then play the exact same turn with extra cards. Very, very cool. Looks like we have 2 rares. We also have Animating Force. This is an upgrade. This upgrade enters play attached to an artifact instead of a creature. Play, take control of this artifact, and put it on a flank of your battle line as a creature with 4 power and versatile. Interesting. And then scrap, gain 1 amber. So at the very least, you're discarding it for an amber. Or you can take control of an artifact. And there's a lot that you can do with that. I mean, it's either good artifact removal because it'll come to your side ready. Artifact, battlefield as a creature. So it would maintain its house. It wouldn't become House Geistoid. So if you have that house in your deck, oh, but it's versatile, so you can use it no matter what. Oh, that's super cool. So it's either a great artifact / creature control combo, or it's a way to take an artifact and then just start using its effect every turn because it'll become basically an omniable artifact with 4 power. So the opponent can get rid of it pretty easy, but if they have a very pesky actionable artifact, you can just take advantage of it every turn, which could be huge. That's a really cool card. It's so thematic for Geistoid to put an upgrade on a artifact. Okay, well that was our first deck. That was super, super exciting. Let me switch over to another mat. We'll look at that mat, and then we'll get into our next deck. I hope you guys are excited. This is super cool. And here is the next playmat. So this deck is AndyForge Who Pecks at Cyborgs, which I think is very funny, especially in Grim Reminders of all sets, because Logos isn't here, but the kind of trash cyborg, Spectre robot creatures that have kind of picked up the trash and became, themselves are here. So it's very thematic, I suppose. It looks like the art between the houses doesn't change, which is fine. It looks phenomenal, and I can't imagine how much more work would go into kind of establishing another thing like this. And I think that it looks fantastic just the way it is. Our Equidon card, this is a rare creature, I believe, with treachery called Elena the Charming, if I'm remembering correctly. Very, very cool. And then we've got our red Archon. Obviously, the background shade has changed, which is super, super good. It ties it all together super well. And this Archon looks rad with the kind of winged shawl and the spiked robot crab legs, and then the sinister looking arm, and everything about it is so cool. I love this mat. I just love all of this. This is so awesome. So there is a lot less to talk about because we're not looking at our very first mat, but I think it looks fantastic. I hope that it's coming up on camera pretty good. And we will be right back with the card reveal of AndyForge Who Pecks at Cyborgs. We are here now with the card reveal of our second custom deck. We set the hex code card aside. I'm not protecting that QR code. I don't know that it leads to anything that we as players have access to, but if it is important, please don't scan it. Then this should be our Archon card. Set that to the side. And then this is our rules token card. Just card. Alrighty, let's see where we're starting. Right back into Untamed, a familiar face with Warfaline. 3 power creature, play after fight, shuffle the top 5 cards of your discard pile into their owner's deck. Very cool. Once you identify the Wharf line, it's already too late. Oh, goodness. Very aggressive hunter, I guess. 2 of those. Wow, okay. Doubling up on Wharf line again. Another big recursion deck, I suppose. Ooh, this is a great card to have that enhancement on. So this is the Circle of Life. It's an action with an Amber Pip, a discard Pip, and play. Each haunted player gains 2 Amber. So this card could, in theory, make us haunted and then give us the 2 Amber for it. Very, very cool. This is a lot of flavor text. At our end, we will return to the embrace of the Crucible, for it is in her soil and under her skies that our journey finds its eternal home. Whoa. Deep. Cool. Oh, fantastic. So this is one of the best cards this set, and I am not ashamed or afraid to say that. This is Spooky Charge. It's an action enhanced with the damage, and it reads, play. If you are haunted, forge a key at current cost. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck. Very, very good. It's like key cheat with maybe a little bit of extra steps, but it doesn't purge itself. It's one of the few key cheats nowadays that doesn't purge. So if you can dig through your deck fast enough, get it again, boom, another, key cheat. Then we've got Skeleton Murmuk, 3-power creature that reads, while you are haunted, your opponent's keys cost +2. Very good. Ooh, Regrowth. I didn't even know that this was in this set. I've been looking through the cards for a while, but there are certain cards that escape me, being that the pool of cards is so big. It is an action with an Amber Pip enhanced with a discard. Very good, again. Play, return a creature from your discard pile to your hand. So if we have a creature in Untamed with a scrap effect, this could be a great way to get the scrap effect, get it back, and then play it. Or resolve the scrap effect twice if we really want to. Invigorating Shower. We just saw this card. Very good. It's an action, enhances a draw and discard. Play, choose a house, shuffle each card of that house from your discard pile into your deck. Ooh, Haunting Witch, 3-power creature with after you play creature, if you're haunted, gain 1 Amber. The new kind of Hunting Witch with another kind of prerequisite set. Some of those earlier Untamed cards were a bit out of hand, so these are, I feel like, in a very comfortable place while also being very strong. There are certain Untamed cards that might be overpowered. Oh, this is great. Okay, so we've got the Grave Pixie, 1-power creature with an Amber Pip enhanced with a Draw Pip. Destroyed if you're haunted, archive Grave Pixie. Fantastic in tandem with Haunting Witch, just being able to play a recurable creature. If you can destroy it while you're haunted, if you can play it while you're haunted, you're getting more, and it's enhanced, so it recurs, and then I get that draw. That is awesome. We've got Blarnean Hydra. We've seen this guy, 5-power, enhanced with a damage. It looks like one of those damage already ended up in Untamed on Spooky Charge, so that's good. While it is damaged, Blarnean Hydra gains Splash Attack X, where X is the amount of damage on Blarnean Hydra. Very cool. Ooh, Gavid Cycle, another big recursion card. With Capture Discard, it's got an Amber Pip already. Omega, play, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. This could be very good for Spooky Charge in specific. If we have another card, maybe out of house, that can get us straight to Haunted, then we just play Spooky Charge again after we've played it at the end of our turn. And it's discarding, which as Omega is good just because it'll refill our hand bigger. Flying Broomstick. This upgrade is very interesting. So it has an Amber Pip on it. This creature gains Elusive, and after Reap, heal all damage and move all Amber and counters from this creature to the common supply. This could be really good on Blarnean Hydra. If we can get damage on Blarnean Hydra, fight Blarnean Hydra into something, Blarnean Hydra survives, next turn we play Untamed, and Reap, we just heal it and move any Amber we've captured from Gavid Cycle, or I think maybe there was one other card enhanced for the Capture Pip in Untamed. Very cool. Also, just great out of house. I'll Be Astray with a Capture Pip. Very cool. 6-power. Oh, we're in Geistoid. Don't know that I need to say it, but I will. Enhanced with a Capture Pip. I'll Be Astray. It's creature 6-power. If you're haunted, it enters play ready. After Reap, capture 1. Winds of Death. This is probably one of, if not my favorite board wipes in this set. It is an action. Play. Each player archives each creature from their discard pile. Destroy each creature. So you can typically really work this in your favor, especially if you don't want to play certain Geistoid cards on this turn, or you have discard pips where you can discard creatures that you want to have archived for later. It's almost Equidon-esque in the ability to manipulate the trade that you're giving, but you also have to be careful. I've played a game or two where I've accidentally played, or not accidentally, but I've misplayed by playing Winds of Death when maybe I should have held it or discarded it, because it archived my opponent's like entire Star Alliance, and then they built up a very big kind of unstoppable Star Alliance board where they reaped constantly for benefits. Then we've got Touchstone, 4-power creature, enhanced with a draw pip. After reap, if you're haunted, draw 2 cards, otherwise discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Ooh, Reaver. 4-power creature, enhances a capture and 2 discard. After reap, move 1 amber from a friendly creature to your pool. If you do, discard a card. 2 of those. That explains some of our enhancements. Mamet, my favorite little guy! Okay, I'm so happy to see him. I honestly, I don't remember. I haven't looked at these first 2 decks really, and I was worried that maybe I would get an AndyForge labeled deck that didn't have Mamet in him. I love this guy. I think this art is awesome. So he's a 1-power creature that says play/destroyed, archive the top card of your discard pile. So super good archival recurrence, especially in Geistoid. If one of our rare cards is like Ectocharge, or we get Boo in here somewhere, or in here somewhere is another fantastic card that Mamet can just archive immediately. So some fantastic recursion with him, as even with just when he's destroyed, you do it again. So if we can destroy him on our own terms, we can pick the card. But also I love the art and I love the flavor text, because the flavor text says you will make an excellent friend, and he's just reaching down to another pile of junk, or maybe a discarded robot, trying to turn it into a friend, and he's a Spectre Fairy, which is a trait type that I don't know that we've seen before. I love him. I think he's so rad. 2 of those, hell yeah. Oh, and then we do have Ectocharge. Holy crap, so we have Spooky and Ectocharge in this deck. As long as this Equidon is good, we'll be rolling in it pretty good. I hope we have an in here somewhere in this deck so that we can have some more targeted archiving. Ectocharge is an action with an Amber Pip. This is another one of, if not the best cards in the deck, in the set in Grim Reminders. Play, forge a key at plus 20 current cost, reduced by 1 for each card in your discard pile. If you do, purge Ectocharge. So, quick math, there's 36 cards in every KeyForge deck, and so there is a pretty solid 10 card window where if you have Ectocharge, you're gaining a free key. Ectocharge does purge itself, but it's just a free key. And there are certain decks that if you have like Boo or in here somewhere, or that combination with Ectocharge, it is almost guaranteed to go off every turn. And if you do have to pay for it, it's enhanced with an Amber Pip. So there's a pretty solid chance that you'll be able to make this happen. It's a very good card. Oh, BR Geist, I love, this is some more recursion. So this is an action with an Amber Pip. Play, choose a creature in any haunted player's discard pile. Play that creature as if it was in your hand. So this card can feel a little bad if nobody is haunted at the time that you get it, but there's so many times when you can pick and recur cards. I mean, if I play it for the pip and then play Mamet, I can archive BR Geist for later, for when I or my opponent are haunted. It is like Exhume, but a little bit better. Ooh, Soul Vial is interesting. I do have an I'll Be Astray with a capture, so this could play out in a very interesting way, especially if I can get one of those capture pips onto Mamet to have it self-archive. It's got an Amber Pip on it, it's an artifact. Each friendly creature with Amber on it gains destroyed. Archive this creature. Not bad, not a particularly crazy card. Oh, and this is actually one of my favorite actions in this set. I want a deck that can utilize this card very well. It is Replicative Growth. It's an action with an Amber Pip. Play, for the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains, after remove 1 amber from this creature to your pool. I kind of wish we didn't get 2 Reavers in this deck, because Reaver kind of does this already, with the additional benefit or negative, depending on when it's in your hand and what's going on, of discarding a card. But if we have some good capture in Equidon, then maybe that could do some stuff. But I don't know that Equidon's got a whole lot of capture. Oh my gosh! Okay, and then we've got Island of Misfit Toys. Have we had 2 rares in both of our Geistoids so far? Artifact with a damage pip action, return each Geistoid card from your discard pile to your hand, purge Island of Misfit Toys. This could be really good in tandem if we can get, Replicative Growth and I'll Be Astray and all this stuff into our hand and remain haunted. I mean, we've got a pretty powerful Geistoid turn coming down the pipes. Oh, and we've got a Maverick for some good capture, although it is basically delayed steal, not the character we're looking for specifically for the combo I was just talking about. This is Don't Believe Your Eyes, so this is a Mars card from Grim Reminders that we've had Mavericked into Equidon. This is some really good Amber control, actually. Play, if you're haunted, a creature captures 2 Amber from its own side, otherwise a creature captures 1 Amber. So I'm thinking the wording here is that either you can have one of your creatures capture an Amber like a normal capture, or if your opponent is haunted, one of their creatures captures 2 Amber from its own side. Very, very cool. Then we've got Old Tinker here, enhanced with a discard pip, 3 power elusive. After Reap, discard a card from your hand, draw a card. Extra good in this set. Old Tinker was pretty good in WoW, one of the best common creatures in Equidon at least. And so now that we can possibly resolve some scrap effects or do a little bit extra with Old Tinker, it's very cool. We've got Rumor Sower, 4 power creature. With After Reap, your opponent discards the top card of their deck, stun an enemy creature that shares a house with the discarded card. Not bad. Ooh, Ledger Domain is good. It's an action with an Amber Pip. It enhances a draw and 2 discard, and it says play, return a damaged creature to its owner's hand. If you do, its controller gains 1 Amber. Some good way to recur your good creatures. Iron Heidi with a damage and a discard, 5 power creature that says while you are haunted, Iron Heidi and each of Iron Heidi's neighbors gains +2 armor. Very good. The new Bulwark. A Hospitality with an Amber enhanced with 2 discard. Play, choose an enemy creature and a friendly creature. Until the end of the turn, the friendly creature's power is equal to the enemy creature's power. It's a weird card. I'm sure it can come up in some pretty good ways. Ooh, this is a card that I am super glad that they reprinted from Winds of Exchange and Grim Reminders. Just with the way that it resolves, there is such a great kind of consistency that you can pull off with discarding cards, drawing into cards. It's a great way to get into Haunted. It's a great way to have big Equidon turns. I'm very glad that this was reprinted. This was a card that I definitely wanted to see in this set. Oh, and we got 2. Okay. Wow. Oh, man, I want to play this deck bad. This is interesting. Then we've got Scrap Scrounger, brought back down to earth a little bit here with a 4 power creature. After Reap, swap an artifact from your discard pile with a card in your hand. Not bad. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. We had Soul Vial, I guess. So if our opponent destroys Soul Vial, but that's not really a huge one. Island of Misfit Toys. I guess if it gets discarded, we can bring it back. Or if it just gets destroyed before I can resolve its effect, we can get it back. So that's not bad. Oh, Sandhopper. Now that's the real target. Wow, okay. Action, return a friendly creature to its owner's hand. If you do, you may play a non-Equidon creature from your hand. With 2 shopping sprees and all these enhancements, I'm like bewildered. I don't even, honestly, I'm not even sure how this would play, how this deck would feel. I feel like I'd be turning through hands so quickly and playing so many cards. Holy. And then out negotiate for some good Amber. Oh, we do have another card behind it. It's an action with an Amber Pip. Play, choose a card in your opponent's discard pile, steal Amber equal to the number of bonus icons on that card, and put that card on the bottom of its owner's deck. Very good. I'm not sure that there's a specific card that I would have in mind for something like this, because I don't know that there's any cards that have a whole lot of Amber Pips. I feel like a lot of the Amber gain is actually from the text on the cards in this set. But I'm sure that they're great targets. Also, the secondary effect of Out Negotiate while in Equidon was actually kind of negative because it could recur it sooner to the opponent with all the token making and stuff going on. Now it is kind of beneficial because there's so much recursion baked into the set that Detractor has become maybe just a bonus because you could actually, by putting it on the bottom of the opponent's deck, get them further away from it. Ooh, and then Transitory Philosopher. 5 power creature with action, steal 1 Amber for each enemy artifact. Okay. As I had said in some of my Winds of Exchange deck openings, I think that we are moving towards an environment where decks are going to have a lot more artifacts, or at least it definitely feels that way, and that in and of itself will become a detractor from the Haunted effect because cards aren't in your discard pile, and it'll interact with decks, especially with all these new mechanics, in such interesting ways. Because before, it was almost like having a lot of artifacts gave you additional efficiency if you had an efficient deck, because you could get to your artifacts, play them in the board, and if your opponent didn't have something like Celestial Gorm, then they sat there, and if one got destroyed, then maybe you'd play it back, but that's like, 6 or more cards that just you aren't drawing anymore, so you're drawing in more consistently into your other actions and stuff. This is so Transitory Philosopher is not bad, especially if I can play against some of my opponents. I know a friend of mine has a deck with, I think, 8 artifacts from his Grim Reminder's Pledge. And so if I could action a creature to steal 8 amber, I mean, holy cow, I don't care what those artifacts do. That's over a key, although he's definitely got a target on his back as soon as he hits the board. Wow, okay. Super, super interesting. I am just... I don't know that floored is the word, but I'm so excited about these decks. I think my deck openings for Grim Reminders are going to be super cool. I also just the Awakening decks, once you guys can see those treatments, are going to be awesome doing those openings. I think there's a level of excitement that comes from these decks that Winds of Exchange couldn't match. Winds of Exchange brought a lot more excitement than especially my Age of Ascension deck openings, because Age of Ascension is notorious for not having like crazy stuff going on. But I think it's just such a unique experience to see and think of combos in these decks. I mean, it's very, very combo heavy just by the nature of discard and recursion that's going on. As soon as these decks hit my local store, even though I've had a pretty big pledge, I think I'm going to buy another display. The things that I'm seeing here, and these are my named decks, so I'm like super excited. I want more. I just keep wanting more. Okay, let me settle down a little bit. I will switch over. You guys will see the next playmat, and then we'll dig into that final card reveal. Give me 1 second. And we are here now with our third and final playmat. Some fantastic stuff. So this is our Green Archon. This deck is AndyForge the Bookish and Infectious. I love that name. Sounds very, very cool. Like smart and infectious personality. Infectious, like I have a disease. I'm very curious. But the green is very awesome. It obviously spreads and ties the whole playmat together. The art, again, for Geistorted and Untamed are the same with Mischievous and Witch Queen. And then in Mars, I think this is the action Aberrant Warp event. I really should look up these cards before I start these recordings, but if I remember correctly, it is a bit Sound the Horns-esque, but it has a secondary effect of putting the creature into play and doing some sort of creature control. I'm honestly not super sure, but the art looks perfect, and it's great for kind of representing Mars in Geistorted. It's got that portal behind him, the gun reaching out over the kind of border here. Very, very cool. Makes it pop. This Archon looks really rad. I've always loved these kind of orbs that emanate from the Archon sometimes. It seems kind of, I don't know, I guess intimidating. Also, the use of the kind of blank space or white space in the center of the Archon is very nice, where instead of having design, they've kind of removed the coloring and used that to make this kind of bursting star in the middle of the Archon's chest. It's holding a scepter. Its other arm is a wing that blends in with maybe the curtain or wing, or I'm not sure what you would call that. I guess mantle is a good choice of words for the markings behind it. And this kind of technology-esque base. I don't want to say tendril or fin or anything. It looks like some sort of obelisk or device that would help the Archon to float, but needless to say, very, very good. It looks amazing. I love the name. It looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, well, give me one moment, and I will be back with AndyForge, the Bookish and Infectious. And here we are now with the final card reveal. Pull away that hex digit card. And this is our Archon. Set it off to the side there. And our rules card. So this is the deck that I have played with a little bit, but honestly, there's so much discarding and recursion in this set. There's going to be cards in here that might surprise me, because in my 3 games with it, I might have never played them. So if I sound surprised, it is not me feigning surprise. It is just me having not played the cards. But I love this deck, and we will do a little bit of discussion after the reveal and after I talk about the individual cards, about how it feels kind of to play it. So we're starting in Untamed here. We've got Amber Storm. It's an action with an Amber Pip enhanced with a discard. Play. For each amber in your pool, deal 1 damage to an enemy creature. So, a few things about this card. 1, you gain an amber beforehand, so it'll always be at least 1 damage. 2, the amber that it selects to begin this effect does not change. So if you play something like Rot Feast, where you gain amber every time you deal damage, while that is still an amazing combo, it doesn't turn into an infinite, oh, Amber Storm is dealing a damage, gaining you an amber, then triggering that amber to deal another damage, and, cycling to gain amber for basically each point of damage that exists amongst enemy creatures. But it is super, super effective, especially since Untamed is all about making amber. And you get to select each creature that the damage goes to, so very, very cool. 2 of those, this one unenhanced. Witch of the Eye, a very, very good recursive card this set. 3-power creature with After Reap, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. Great, especially for Untamed cards. Then we've got Haunting Witch, 3-power creature, this one enhanced with a damage. After you play a creature, if you're haunted, gain 1 amber. This can really snowball in this set, or in this deck, because we have 2. And we're going to follow that up with Grave Pixie, 1-power creature, enhanced with a capture, which is great. Comes with the Amber Pip, destroyed if you're haunted, archive Grave Pixie. And we have 1, 2, 3 of those. So in combination with our double Haunting Witch and double Amber Storm, this can get real out of hand really quickly, especially since Grave Pixie can just archive itself. Then we've got Flume, 3-power creature with Skirmish. After fight, give a beast creature 2+1 power counters. I think Flume is the only beast in this deck, so it'll only be enhancing itself, but that is perfectly fine. Then we have Dew Fairy, 2-power creature with Elusive. After Reap, gain 1 amber, so more amber gain. Then we've got Werewolf Curse, which is the upgrade with an Amber Pip. This creature gains Splash Attack 3, and after fight, archive Werewolf Curse. Play, enrage this creature, which always comes with Gnarl Gibbous. 3-power creature with while enraged, Gnarl Gibbous gains Skirmish and Splash Attack 3. Play / after Reap, enrage Gnarl Gibbous. So another weird way to recur Amber by archiving Werewolf Curse. And that is our Untamed. So our Untamed is just a Amber pumping house. If you can do all of the setup from these other houses to get your Untamed on the board in quick succession while haunted, it can become a bit of a mess in a very, very good way for us. So then we are into our Mars here. We've got the action Scoop Up. It's enhanced with an Amber. Play, put a friendly non-Mars creature and an enemy non-Mars creature into your archives. If that enemy creature would leave your archives, return it to its owner's hand instead. Then we have Plague Wind, very interesting board control here. Play, until the end of the turn, each non-Mars creature gains -3 power. So this is where we're dealing with negative power effects, which they've added to this set instead of damage. I'm interested to see where that goes, because I believe only, until the end of the turn. So it is like a temporary 3 damage in a sense, but if a creature, dips into the negatives or hits 0, it will be destroyed. So it's very, very interesting. I really like the idea of Mars kind of dealing with negative power. Then we've got Flotsam Spewer, 2-power creature with Splash Attack 2, and each of Flotsam Spewer's Mars neighbors gains Splash Attack 2. So it's just the Mars neighbors, which kind of stinks. Flotsam Spewer is an interesting card. Adding Splash Attack to your neighbors is a huge benefit and is super, super interesting. But it is only to Mars neighbors. I kind of wish it was maybe to just each neighbor, since it doesn't have Skirmish. It's not a overpowering card. In this deck, this is probably my least favorite card. That being said, it is still a good card. So that speaks very highly of this deck and I guess this set. We had 2 of those. Then Grabber Jammer is back. Oh yeah, creature with 4 power, 1 armor. Your opponent's keys cost +1 amber. After fight, after reap, capture 1 amber. Happy to see the return of this guy. Then we have the Brain Dart action. Amber Pip enhanced with a discard. Very good. Play, enrage an enemy creature. It captures 1 amber from its own side. And we got 2 of those. Yip Yak's Abductor. This guy is actually probably one of my favorite cards in this set. It combos well with all of the kind of archive your enemies stuff. that Mars does, and it's just super, super interesting. So the 4-power creature, this one's enhanced with a discard pip. Play after fight, put an upgrade from play into your archives. If you are not the owner of that card and it leaves your archives, put it into its owner's hand instead. So being able to archive upgrades from play is very, very cool. Then we have the Red Death. 12-power creature, enhanced with a damage and 2 discards. The Red Death cannot ready unless you are haunted. So if you can ready it while you're haunted and you become unhaunted, it doesn't unready immediately, but if you use it, it won't ready again. But its after fight effect is gain 1 amber and draw a card. So draw a card, gain amber from fighting, and 12-power creature. It is very, very cool. I love the theming. Also, that art is awesome. Then we've got Mimrox the Red, which is very good in this deck with Scoop Up and Yip Yak's Abductor. 5-power creature with your opponent's cards cannot leave your archives, and action, gain 1 amber for each card in your archives. Then we've got Loyalty Implant, a very on-theme card for Mars, and very good. It is an artifact with Omni. Destroy Loyalty Implant. You may use friendly Mars creatures this turn. So Mimrox the Red is a fantastic target for that. So is the Red Death. So is Grabber Jammer. So is all of them. They're very, very good, especially when you can use them out of turn. If I can use this when I've established a pretty heavy board of Mars and Untamed, it goes out of hand very quickly with the amount of Amber Game and kind of board state control that I can have, especially with this last card. I haven't been able to get this to go off in this deck yet, but it is phenomenal. Holy cow. So each friendly Mars creature gains destroyed. Place this creature face down under replay pod. Action, put each card under replay pod into your hand, purge replay pod. Very, very good. Then we're into our Geistoid, the piece de resistance of this deck. A 6-power creature with I'll Be a Stray here. A friend that we are seeing often. If you're haunted, it enters play ready, and after you capture 1. Then immediately we're into Junk Restoration, the action with an Amber Pip, enhance to discard, play, discard the top 3 cards of your deck. You may put a card discarded this way into your hand. Very good. In here somewhere, again, probably my new favorite card. An action with an Amber Pip, play, if you're haunted, archive 2 cards from your discard pile, otherwise discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Then we've got the artifact Haunted House here. I think this is another fantastic artifact from Geistoid. At the start of your turn, if you are not haunted, discard the top card of your deck. Omni, if you are haunted, gain 1 amber. So just an additional amber every turn while you're haunted. And it just digs you straight to haunted. 5-power creature Harvest Skimmer here. After Reap, discard the top card of your deck. If it is a creature, gain 1 amber. So an additional amber gain that can lead to some more capture and push us towards haunted, which is really good. We've got the action Hallowed Eve Festival. Love this card. It's got an Amber Pip enhanced with a Capture Pip, and it says play, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. For each Geistoid card discarded this way, put a friendly creature, what? Oh my goodness. Try that one more time. For each Geistoid card discarded this way, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. So some big capture, most likely. I would be surprised if you don't hit at least 1 target with Hallowed Eve Festival. Then Ecto Charge, an Amber Pip with play. Forge a key at plus 20 current cost, reduced by 1 for each card in your discard pile. If you do, purge Ecto Charge. Veil of Ectoplasm. Play, for it's an action, play, for each Geistoid card in your discard pile, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. Tribute Collector, 4 power, 2 armor, taunt, and play, after fight, a friendly creature captures 1 amber. Then we have Return to Rubble, play, shuffle the top 10 cards of your discard pile into your deck. If you do, destroy each creature. Then we've got Daimo Eldergast, 3 power, 2 armor, enhanced with a discard pip, and it enhances to capture into the deck, and it says each friendly creature with amber on it gains destroyed. If you are haunted, gain 1 amber for each amber on this creature. And Replicative Growth, action with an Amber Pip, play, for the remainder of the turn, each friendly creature gains, after Reap, move 1 amber from this creature to your pool. Very, very cool. So there is a lot going on, especially in that Geistoid. First of all, Ectocharge will happen in this deck with Hallowed Eve Festival, with In Here Somewhere, with Junk Restoration. It is easy to get to Haunted on a Geistoid turn, as well as being able to get those cards if I have Junk Restoration or In Here Somewhere going off. And then Hallowed Eve Festival has the added benefit of capturing. Then we have Daimo Eldergast giving us more Amber from capture, Albiastray also capturing. Then we have Veiled Ectoplasm, more capture. We almost don't have enough Geistoid creatures to take good benefit, I guess, from replicative growth. However, we have Loyalty Implant. So I can take all of those capture cards, Tribute Collector, another one, and I can put all of that capture onto any Geistoid and Mars creatures, then replicative growth, reap with all of them, move that Amber down. I mean, it is such a crazy good combination and work together of cards of just capture all this Amber. All of that capturing is leading us directly into a key cheat. That key cheat can go off, especially now that we are reaping for a bunch of Amber, moving that Amber away. And if those creatures do get destroyed, which we can do once we have played our Ectocharge and gotten the key from our discard pile being big, and we've played a bunch of really good Geistoid cards, we can return to Rubble to put all of the good actions and Geistoid cards that we've discarded and everything back into our deck, destroy each creature, Daimo Eldergast goes off, we've stolen basically a bunch of Amber from our opponent, we give them some of the Amber back, and then we gain Amber for each Amber on those creatures. If I have access to my entire Geistoid house in this deck, things can get really out of hand, and there's so much archiving in Mars and in Geistoid that it is not far-fetched to think that would happen. The only thing, honestly, that I'm missing is like an Island of Misfit Toys instead of maybe one of the other Geistoid cards, and we are set. I mean, things are looking fantastic. Or if we had a Winds of Death, maybe, instead of Return to Rubble, that could lead to some very, very interesting plays. But I am super happy with this deck, especially everything that I've played of it so far. There are cards like, I haven't been able to pull off that Geistoid combo just yet in my 3 games because of weird board states, but honestly, most of the time I haven't been able to pull off that combo because I've been finishing the game early with the Untamed and the Ectocharge and everything like that. So it is super, super, super interesting. I think Grim Reminders is looking to become, if it hasn't already become, my new favorite set. And this combo is something that I was actively looking for, and the fact that it ended up on a custom AndyForge deck, not only that, but the name is the Bookish and Infectious, which I just think is so cool, and we got Plague Winds in the deck. It's just so exciting. So give me 1 second, I will put this away, and I will be right back to show off the posters and bid you all a farewell until my next video, and maybe to discuss a few more things with you guys. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, so we're here in the final part of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, getting a sneak peek at the custom decks. I hope a bunch of you are getting custom decks of your own, and if not, take this as a sign to keep your eyes peeled for the Amber Skies campaign at the end of this year. You know, if you back at a certain tier, you get them, and I will be playing with these all year. If I ever have some big report, or if I do a deck review, it'll probably be about one of these decks to give a more thorough breakdown of them. But just a few final things here. While I am talking to you, I will probably have a better image of the posters scrolling across the screen, or possibly just you're seeing it in its full and zooming in or what have you. They look awesome. I think they're super, super cool. Posters are interesting. It's not something that I asked for, and I don't know that I will have space on my walls for them. If I do ever get a sort of like side office one day, it would be awesome, I think, to put them up. But they're cool nonetheless. Commemorative ways to memorize the deck. The art of all the cards is cool, and it's awesome to have them on display there. And I think it's super interesting. I'm super happy to have them. and I think they're really high quality. So it's very, very cool. These decks are super rad. I can't wait to play them. I can't wait to open up more stuff. The next video that should be coming out for you guys is my collector set video. So that video should be coming out this Friday, February 9th. So we'll have the collector set on full display so you guys can see kind of in the flesh each individual card, what the backing of those cards look like, and the special full art cards at the end of the collector set. I'm excited to crack that open and have you guys take a look at it. Also, please remember that we are currently doing a vote on the nickname for the viewers and subscribers of this channel. So if you are subscribed, well, first of all, if you're not subscribed, you've made it this far, might as well hit that button. Second of all, if you are subscribed, go into the description. I've posted a link that is very clearly labeled. It'll send you to a Google form where you can vote on the more permanent name that I call you guys. If you haven't noticed, in most of my deck opening videos, there has been a different nickname for everybody. So Crucible, some C word typically follows it. So now is your time to either vote on a couple that I have listed or maybe type in your own option that you think would be great. So don't forget to get those in. There is a cutoff date. I don't remember what it is. I will post it up on the screen now for just a second. But keep your eyes peeled. Don't forget to do that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. There's much more to come. And remember, the most important part of KeyForge is the person sitting across the table. Have a great rest of your day.